Hello YouTube, Felix here with Salvage Title Approaches, and for our second video we will be using this ceramic trim coat restoration kit for your faded plastics on your 20-year-old car by Cerakote, which if that's not how it's pronounced I don't know, but it almost sounds like ceramic coating, so I'm guessing that's the whole point. And my friend, he just gave me this kit after he used it and said give it a whirl, and I was like, oh well, let's give it a try. Because as you can see right there on my window, the door plastic, the door window frame, like there's a little bit of cracking in there. I was wondering if it was gonna like actually like paint over the blackness. Of course, this is just it's a baby wipe that just puts like a clear coat on it and makes it look shiny. And the spots that I was going to apply it on are obviously the door. Here's my front cowl, and I was going to do kind of the bottom rear bumper. I decided to skip my side mirrors because, surprisingly enough, they looked pretty decent. Now that I think about it, I wonder if it would have looked better if I did wipe it. But I guess long story short, I do think this kit is worth it. I do think it does a pretty good job of what it's doing. So without further ado, I guess I'll just kind of get into the instructions of everything. If you're trying to do this yourself, step one was just washing your car, and step two is just letting it dry, like dry, like a desert dry, and then obviously applying it between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. It was 74 in my garage, 69 outside, so I really did kind of just race against the clock to kind of just apply the coating onto my plastics. And this is kind of where I was taking shortcuts, is I was actually planning to tape kind of other parts, so I want to get the chemical on it from the wipes, but this is literally the only piece of tape I put. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have a steady hand. I didn't even cut the corners there. That's a little technique to kind of peel the tape back, but yeah, that's the last bit of tape I'm gonna be using. And there's actually a little bit of a difference, if I recall, because I remember reading the instructions that I showed on the screen earlier. And there's also a set of instructions on the baby wipes, the chem wipes, that actually contain the wipe on it. And that one said to roll my windows down, which actually makes sense, because if I didn't do that, I would probably just put tape over it, and I was already kind of trying to race the clock against beating the heat, So I just rolled my windows down. So I already had my car prepped and washed. I let it dry a whole day. It was the right temperature. I had my windows down. And then now I'm ready to start it, see how how it works. And like I said earlier, I think it does a good job. And you can kind of see already visually the difference. There's already kind of a little bit of a glossiness to it. And I will say, if I have to comment on my own work looking at it now, I wish I just used long strokes instead of like a sanding motion up and down, because, well, I have no basis on it, but in my kind of a little bit of experience of using like headlight restoration kits, when you have like the clear coat in a wipe, it kind of does just kind of cake on there instead of like put a smooth layer on. But I mean, this is like a 20-year-old car. You're not looking for perfection here. This kit, I'm assuming is, I got it for free. I'm assuming it's for $20. Obviously, that's not sponsored. My friend gave me the kit. I think I mentioned that earlier. But yeah, and right here, I was gonna be extra and kind of, what a Mazda 3, there's a plastic trimming on top. Some cars have it, some don't. But as I was about to do it, I was like, never mind. I'm too lazy for that. Too lazy for tape. Too lazy to be extra. So I went ahead and didn't do that and just started working on my passenger side. And I believe I just used one wipe. I believe I used only 3 wipes in the total of this. One for the sides, one for the front cowl, which is kind of like the rain gutter spot where your windshield connects, the windshield wiper connects, and then the bottom bumper. And right here you can just see me applying it. Trying to, like I said, no tape, just steady hand. And yeah, just applying it. So far, I was kind of impressed with it. There's like a sheen. And I didn't really worry about applying it on the glass. I was more worried that you guys would see my VIN number. So I left that towel there. I was supposed to use the towel along with the wipe to kind of just, if I did like overspray, I guess you say, over wipe, then I would just have the rag to wipe it up. But I just decided I'd be okay without it. So we just did that, or there was no way. It was just myself. So, and you could see right there that rag was quite dirty, but I just applied the folding technique to allow for more usage out of one rag, because yeah, why not? And well, here's I did open a fresh pack right here, and I think this is kind of important. There was like from the exhaust, how it burnt it up, but like it does cover it. It does kind of restore it. You will see that it is kind of faded still there, but I was impressed, like I said, with everything, with just the concept of you just pull it out of the box, you rip it open, and just apply it, and now you visually see a difference. It even asks on the box to like send in your pictures of before and after. So I guess I should have done that, but I think this video is more of a sign of telling, And yeah, just trying to get in between all those spots in between. And this is where I was like, well, I look at the back of my car a lot. When you're walking away from your car, you're always looking at it. So I was like, let me try to do a good job here. And just applying it, like I said, long stroke motions. That's the technique for applying all the like kind of chemical wipes of it. And here we are after. This is after. It's a 20-year-old car. Obviously, it's not going to take care of the cracks. I don't know why I waved in front of the camera. In my mind, when I was doing it, you were supposed to see my reflection like in the beginning of the video. But, I just did this real quick. I put this together real quick and just wanted to show you guys. And, you can notice, you could see a reflection. It wasn't having a sheen like that before. It didn't have that glossiness to it. And I think it's more in the front, when the front cowl, you can see spots that I missed. So you can actually see how, right underneath the cloth, you can kind of see areas. Well, now I'm pointing at it. That's where I didn't have such a steady hand. That's why I'm a YouTuber and not a surgeon. But yeah, but it's also good for you guys to see on camera, because sometimes how it looks in person doesn't show as well on camera for some reason. I guess well, that's just how life is. That's how it goes. And you can see a spot. I don't know if I missed that or it just kind of shined through it, but it looks nice. It looks glossy. And I think it really shined. Oh, well, here's my passenger side, and you can see the glossiness. You can literally see me holding my red iPhone 12, which is what I used to film this with. And like I said, I think it's really worth it if you just pay $20, $25 for this, and you're trying to treat your car, your 20-year-old car, trying to gloss it up, trying to doll it up and make it look nice. And this is my first car. That's why this kind of stuff that's why I kind of started YouTube, is I want to keep the car. It's been treating me so well for the past, I got it 2017, so I was very happy with it. I was very happy with the results. And I don't know if I've mentioned this video isn't sponsored. Obviously, I'm not big on YouTube, so the sponsorships are in the mail, I promise. But all in all, it was a real quick thing to doll up your car, make it look nice, make it look pretty, and I think it'd be worth it. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to see this video, and hopefully with the next video I'll have something more mechanical than